Hey guys, this is Justin from Apex Low Code Solutions, and today I'm just going to walk you through our AI dashboard for Bubble. And hopefully, this tutorial will help you get set up and just provide a quick demo on how it works. So, when we hop into our application, now this is already set up, it has the API keys. I'll provide a link in the description for the documentation on adding those API keys. And I also do have documentation on how to set everything up, which I'm going to go over in this video, but you can check it out there, and it's more of a step-by-step tutorial. So the first thing you'll see when we hop in here is we have a number of categories on the left. So we have our tools, and for demonstration purposes and for the way that this comes by default, you have branding and ads, online publications, online retail, and so on. We can assign different prompts to the categories. So in all tools, we have all the tools which come with the actual template, but we can come in here and these are just broken down to what's more relevant. Now, if we were to hop in here, just so I can show you how it works, we're going to look at the review responder. So we can just type in a customer's name, the review, and what we're going to do is all these prompts come with a number of copies. Now, this can be removed later on if if you know Bubble. You can take a look at the logic there and just remove this. But I included this in case people wanted to return more than one response from the AI. This will return a number of responses. So I'm just going to put in one for now, and we're going to hit generate and see what this gives us. All right. And so it's pretty quick, and it gives us a nice response for the review. And it has like relevant information. It says, the food, we're upset that you didn't have a good dining experience, but you enjoyed the atmosphere. So again, we can customize the API itself and change the temperature, and it will return different responses based on the parameters that are set up. And we can also copy this to the clipboard if we choose to later. And we can also, it does have a little refresh button here, so you can just hit refresh and it retains all the fields on the left, and you can just change different things about it. So you don't have to keep typing in the same thing over and over. To actually set this up, what we're going to do is when we are in the editor, when you purchase the template, you'll receive access to essentially the entire template. But what's pretty important is how to actually set up the prompts. Now to do that, I'm going to go through the option sets. So you're going to go to data and then go to option sets, and you're going to see a number of option sets here. But what we have to focus on here is the prompts. Now, everything you see here, all of these options are each prompt that you see on the front end. So if we go back, all these tools here, the Google Ads, the review responder, the Instagram captions, you'll see all of those here. Now, each one of these has a number of elements to it, which we also need to set up to get it working. And we will just hop into the review responder to just show you how it's set up right now. So the display is the information that's going to be displayed right at the top of this. So when you click here, this is the review responder. This doesn't have any effect on the actual API call. This is just a title. We also have the description. The description is also purely aesthetic. It doesn't provide any more information to the API. If we hop back here, you can see the description here. The next thing is the FA icon. I'll provide a link in the description of all the FA icons which Bubble supports, but you'll find an FA icon and just put it in here. So this one is share square, which is this icon here. The next thing is and I'm going to get to the pretext, but the next thing is the fields. The fields are the information which will be appearing within your prompt on the left-hand panel. So we have our customer name, review, and tone of voice, and that corresponds to these. Now, to add additional fields, you'll just click this little box here, and you'll see a number of fields which are shared between all of the prompts. So you only need to create, let's say, the customer name field once, and you can reuse it across all of your prompts, or the review field or the tone of voice field. And keep in mind, you're going to have all these fields once you purchase the template. It's all in there, and I'll show you how to create additional fields. So if we wanted to, we can just click delete on tone of voice. It's going to be removed. We'll hit save. And now when we refresh the page, tone of voice is gone. So it's really, really intuitive and fast for actually building these prompts out pretty quickly. And you can build a ton of them in just a minimal amount of time. So when we hop back into the option sets, I'm going to go back to the review responder. And the last field, which is the most important field, is the pretext field. Now, the pretext field here, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see. The pretext field is basically what's sent off to the AI before all of your input fields are. This is going to basically be telling OpenAI, okay, what are we doing with this information? And what we're doing is we're saying write a response to the following review, and what follows that information is the customer name along with the input from the user and the review field with the input from the user. So it'll take all that into consideration and return a response based on what you wrote in the pretext field. Now, I'll provide a link in the description for a set of prompts which are very well structured, which you can, take a look at and see how the AI responds to those, and hopefully you can get a good idea of what makes a great prompt. Now, the last field here is the tag, and this tag isn't necessary for the app to function. However, it provides additional features which you can use in your own application. We have Pro, Free, and New, and these three fields, depending. So if I click on Pro and I add it, it has a Pro tag. When we hit save and we go back into our app, Review Responder now has a Pro tag. Now you can conditionally set the user to not be able to access these types of prompts. I built this in because I figured a lot of users might want to segment some features based on the plan of their users. So this, again, it isn't totally necessary, but it's there if you need it, and you don't have to go through the work of trying to set up the repeating groups with, with the tags themselves. So it's already there for you. If you decide you don't want it, then you can just delete it from the option set by just going in, clicking on Review Responder, and clicking delete, and then saving it. And now we do have to refresh the page, and it's gone. So that's just a quick breakdown on how the actual prompts are structured, and hopefully it gives you a good idea of how this works. The last thing that you're going to want to do is, once you build the prompts or build your own prompt, it's not going to appear on the dashboard. The reason for that is because we need to categorize these. So since we need to categorize these, we're going to hop back into our option sets, and we're going to see category. So this option set category, we can go into it, and this is where you will build your categories. Now these are all provided with the template, and what you'll do is, when you build the category, now this is all tools. Once you build your tool, you're probably going to want to add it to the all tools category, and it just has a display. So this is all tools. It has an FA icon, just like the prompts, and then it has a list of prompts within it. So again, once you create the prompt, you'll just come in here, you'll click this little box, and you'll find the one that you want to add, and then you'll hit add. Now this is already in here, so I'm not going to add it, but that's the idea. Now you'll do the same thing for the next category. So we have branding and ads, and we have all the prompts within that. When you want to create your own fields for these prompts, you'll just go into the Fields tab. So all we do on this page is we're just adding a display for this. So as you can see, we already have customer name, we have review, we have content, and when we go into these, it's just the display. There's no other information that's needed. So we can add another one here and say, style, hit create, and it's in there. So we already have style in here. This could be customized entirely to how you want to structure your prompts. So when you want to add your own prompt, you'll come in here into prompts, and you'll go to the bottom where it says new option, and you'll type in what you want it to do. So I'm just going to use this as an example. We'll say write a poem. And then when we go into it, we'll click modify attributes. And these are all the fields that you'll just fill in. Now it'll have the description, the icon, the pretext, and the fields and tags. So again, the fields are already here and the tags are already here. To actually modify these tags, you'll need to go into the tags option set, and here you'll see new, free, and pro. So on the front end, you've noticed that the pro does have a color and the free does have a color. And what we did here was the pro tag, we have the display, so it'll say pro, and then we have a hex color. So you'll set that up in the back end, um, and you'll be able to just create as many tags as you want and use them across your application. Hopefully this demo gave you a good idea of how the app functions and how to create your own prompts. If you need any other documentation, you'll be able to find it in the link to the description, as well as a link to the template itself. And if you do need any, if you do have any other questions, you can always feel free to reach out to the email, which is on that template page. That's the best way to reach me directly. And if you need any help setting up your application, we do offer setup services as well as custom build outs if you do want to actually customize the template, you know, to your liking. Um, we can always chat about that. Hopefully this helped out. If you do want to see a quick demo, I'm always happy to set up a meeting, and stay tuned for more info on the template. Thanks.